Hola y bienvenidos a todos. A very warm welcome to 2013 and to all of you watching on the TDT channel, Canal 4. I'm really excited to introduce you to our very first guest, the very talented Justine Knox from Knox Design. A very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. But first of all, big thank you for our fabulous set. This is thanks to you and your talents.
You're very welcome, Izzy. Thanks.
We're very excited to have you here. What has inspired you to go into this business in the first place?
Oh, that's a tricky one, actually. I think it probably started when I was a young girl, because I was probably the only young girl that kept her room tidy. Everything was colour coordinated. And so if I look back now at how I actually created my own bedroom with my own style and had everything coordinated and in its right place, I probably started back then without realising it, of course. And never chose that as a career path. But later on, finding myself here in Mallorca, working alongside my husband at the time, actually, he was in the building business, and clients started to ask me, oh, can you help us out with the colour schemes, or, you know, need to design the kitchen, bathrooms, and not really sure where to go with things. I started to help them and really enjoyed it. And so when the children were younger, I decided that's what I'd do. So I went back to study in London, and also with the internet nowadays, you can do a lot over the internet and online courses. And I suppose about 10 years ago, really decided, right, this is it now, I'm going to focus on doing this as a career, and since then have not stopped.
Because you were busy doing other things before then, obviously. You were involved in, still working with your husband, obviously.
Yeah, we're still working together. We did try and work separately at one stage, and it was not for us, actually. We're just one of those, I don't know, those rare couples or funny couples, weird, whatever you want to call it, but we do work well together. I think probably because for both of us, work's a big part of our life, and so when you're at home, you're chatting about it, and we do long hours. I do longer hours sometimes than him, vice versa. We're very much a team, so if you're going to work like that, when you're at home and you want to talk about over the dinner table about work, or you're going to ring up again and say, sorry darling, I'm going to be late, can you pick the kids up, things like that. If you're working together for the same goal, it's a lot easier, you know, there's none of that, well, I don't know whether it's my turn. And,
yeah,
you know.
no, it's very practical, isn't it? And obviously that is the fruit of your success, that teamwork, and you have a good team behind you in there. Whereabouts are you based, incidentally?
We're in Son Bugadeyes Pilagano in Santa Ponsa.
Excellent, and you've got some girls there that was also helping background to...
Yeah, we've got a great team, and in fact this year we've introduced a guy, so my husband's not quite alone amongst all of us women. And Geordie, he's joined us, and he's helping us now with all the 3D side of the business, because, you know, technology is at the forefront of every business now, and including mine. So to be able to show a client on a computer screen a 3D visual of what they're going to end up with at the end of a project before they actually say, yes, go ahead.
What, so you can go in someone's home and then reproduce that image so that they can...
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
It is, because prior to now, of course, it's all in my head, and one of my assets for me personally is that if I go into a space, be it a home, a restaurant, wherever, I can visualise it in a different way, already starting to see what it's going to be like finished, and that can be from an empty building to somewhere that's already furnished, and what I'd change and how it would look at the end is already in here. But to project that to a client is very difficult until you've actually done it, and of course that would be too late to then say, what do you think?
Yes.
So in this way, it's helped hugely, not so much me because I've already seen it, but the client.
To give them the confidence, no
exactly.
doubt,
and
in yourself and what's going to work.
Exactly, and I've already seen, we've started using this concept since September, and I've already seen that my clients are being more adventurous because I can show it to them finished before we actually do it, whereas before they would go along with my designs up to a certain level, but then a wild card, for example, the chair that you're sat in, to suggest something like that to somebody might be a bit too brave, and they might think, oh God, I'm not sure about that, so let's be safe and let's go for the grey version. Whereas to actually show it to them on a screen, the fact that it is just one little pop of colour and everything else works around it. It enables them to be a little bit more adventurous, so it's greatly helping.
Yes, for sure. And now you mentioned the chair, which I hasten to add is incredibly comfortable and dashing to boot. Whereabouts do you source all your furniture and well, you just do your furniture, curtains, everything, don't you?
Everything, yeah. We start from, I mean, we do building, renovation projects, interior design, home staging, everything. But it can be just one little room or even the corner of a room to the whole house. Sourcing is a great part of the job that I love, because I did say a few years ago I'd like to travel a little bit more. And so because I travel to the trade fairs, which are mainly in Europe, Paris, Milan, Valencia, those kind of places.
Oh, that must be tough.
Yeah, that's a good part of the job as well. So I get to do a little bit of travelling,
right,
find all these great products and bring them in. And also we travel further afield with the family, and you know what it's like. You don't quite ever switch off from your career. So
right,
also keeping my eye out for things then.
Right, fantastic. And the plans for the future? You've got a trade fair, you're travelling shortly,
yeah,
isn't that right?
Next week actually, off to Paris, to the Maison Objet show, which is where I tend to find new items for the showroom. And this particular visit, I've got 2 projects I'm working on that need some just finishing touches, so hopefully I'll find them there.
So as an interior designer, you can go into someone's home, is it all big projects, or do you do a variety of can people come and use your facility or yourself for smaller projects as well?
Absolutely. Some of our clients come in and they've already maybe tried to do it themselves. Perhaps they've done a renovation, or perhaps not, perhaps they've just bought a new home and they've bought the basics, the sofa, the table, chairs, etc. And it's perhaps just missing something to pull it all together. So they'll come to us quite often and ask us to maybe just go and have a look at what they've done and just finish it off. And so again, this 3D concept will help a lot, because they can see what they've already got, and we can even give them a couple of options to show them, you know, what it would look like if we added a couple of colour accents, or what it would look like if we were to maybe put in some extra features, artwork for example, patterns, and they can see it then and decide for themselves. And it is only, it could only just be the accessorising, that's all that's missing.
Fantastic. And people can actually just come into the store and buy a small item.
Exactly, there's loads of great things.
I would imagine a lot builds from that when people first come in and then go, oh my goodness, and get overwhelmed with all the wonderful fabrics and materials that you have.
Also in the showroom we try and put things together in a mix to show people, or to inspire people, I guess, which is, you know, I get the inspiration when I'm travelling, when I'm going to the trade fairs. And so we try to recreate that in the showroom to give people a little bit of inspiration to think, oh, well, you know, that does work with that, so I'm going to maybe have a try. And we've got a great variety of things in the shop that people can just walk in, buy, take them away. And we do always say, if it doesn't work, just bring it back and we'll change it for something else.
Well, it certainly works for us, and we say a big thank you for our wonderful set that you've designed for us here, and we wish you all the very best for 2013 and beyond.
Thank you, it was my pleasure.
Fabulous.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.